In the year 2023, almost 1 million Floridians signed to have abortion enshrined in our state constitution the same way it is being enshrined in the state constitution in Ohio. Our Attorney General is bringing this up to the Supreme Court of our state to try and stop democracy. It is going to have to get 60% of Floridians to sign, not 50% like it was in Ohio, 60%. And still, the GOP is not willing to let direct democracy take place. She is trying to block it because of the word viability. And viability in the land of pro-life is an aspect of importance. It's not really at all. Doctors who are given the Hippocratic Oath, first, do no harm. I've met doctors. A lot of them, unfortunately. They're very good people. They don't want to hurt anyone. And they're only providing an abortion if it's required. And if you don't like it, that's too bad. Don't have one. That's your personal belief. The problem is with the GOP and the evangelical Christians and this nonsense is they're pushing their anachronistic beliefs on everyone else. I don't care that you don't like abortion. I don't care at all. I don't like your bigotry. I have to deal with that. You attack my friends that are homosexual and lesbian. You attack my friends that are brown and black. I have to deal with this. Viability. Let's start with the simple truth and honesty. If you allow adults to decide when to have children, no harm, no foul. But you make the counterpoint, oh, these lives are gone. They're not lives. Christianity is from the religion of Judaism. That is our progenitor. Anyone say that Jesus Christ wasn't a Jewish rabbi? If you do, you're full of shit, and that makes you a fundamental Christian. Under Judaism, it's not a child until it leaves the vaginal canal. That is the basis of Christianity. Jesus was a Jewish rabbi who was a teacher. "97% of abortions that happen in the United States happen in the first 20 weeks, which means 3% happen after 20 weeks. And generally speaking, that has to do with the health of the mother. And as we have all seen here in Texas with Kay Carnes fleeing the state and Ken Paxton trying to get information about her where she left the state because of the Dobbs decision. And the Dobbs decision is the way it is because Donald J. Trump was allowed to put 3 Supreme Court justices in. The first one should have definitely gone to Obama. And he got to put 2 more in. He has wildly changed the views of the court to conservative. Very, very conservative. And the problem is conservatives cost lives. Since the Dobbs decision, more women have died. And those women are generally speaking impoverished and brown. But the GOP doesn't care about that. They are perfectly happy to have their mistress have an abortion. Or like that GOP officer that gave his girlfriend, stopped at the Dairy Queen and gave her methylprednisolone to get rid of the unwanted pregnancy. Against her will, she didn't know what was happening. See, the thing is, they want abortion gone for you, but not for them. It's like the congressman who voted against stem cell research, who is now receiving stem cells to stop his cancer. It's good for them, but not for you. They are pulling from a book that was written, the beginning, the Old Testament, was written 5,800 years ago. That's somewhere around 3,800 BC. Or today, before Common Era, if we don't want to add Judaism and Christianity to our timeline. Because it used to be AD stood for Anno Domini, the year of our Lord in Latin, because, wait for it, Christianity. So now we have the Common Era, which is after 1 is the Common Era. We are currently in the Common Era. And Christianity has always, along with other religions, held us back. They're looking at laws like the laws that are on the books about abortion, some of them from the 1840s. And again, those are brought to you by conservatives. Because I don't care about the party, I care about the philosophy. Either you're liberal or conservative, and the conservative aspects are always the ones who are waiting. And the liberals are always pushing forward. And you're supposed to have a balance so that you don't go off the rails and you keep things in line. Both are required. There's a reason why both personality types exist. However, women's health is a complicated beast. I only had to deal with one pregnancy in my life, and that was my daughter, who was 25. My ex-wife has Tay-Sachs. We wound up getting an amniocentesis at 9 weeks because Stacy, my ex-wife, had 2 brothers that died, stillborn, kind of like what was going to happen to Kay Cox. It was 1998 when my daughter was born. All this wonderful technology didn't exist. So they harpooned my ex-wife, pulled out the amnio, and used the blood to determine it was XX, which is a female child, which is what my daughter is. XY, and you're a guy, and we would have aborted the child right then and there. But that was 9 weeks. And in Florida, my ex-wife, if it was a male child, would then have to go through the entire pregnancy to a dead kid. Her mother had to have a hysterectomy after the 3rd child. That was also a possibility. And you have people that are not doctors making legislation based on a book written. So the New Testament, most of it was written around 100 CE or AD, for those of you who can't remember. That makes it, 1900 years old. How relevant is the information from 1900 years ago about health? And we're going to have more women die, and more women die, and more women die, day after day, because of these anachronistic, religious-based laws. And we're trying to fix that here, and my Attorney General is trying to block it. The will of the people. This is voter suppression. Again, this is why I'm voting blue. We have Dean Phillips, who's running at 22% in New Hampshire. We have Joe Biden, who's running at like 40% in New Hampshire. We need to have this brought up as part of the discussion, because women are going to die this year, and they're going to die into next year, unless we have a blue wave and we can remedy these anachronistic, horrible, oppressive, controlling laws that have been designed by the GOP to keep women dumb, because they're killing education, barefoot and pregnant, because they're trying to get rid of birth control and your ability to control your pregnancy, and in the kitchen, because they don't want you to work. Remember to vote true and vote blue for democracy.